Good afternoon. It's Thursday, April 3rd, 2025, and I'm here to bring you a comprehensive report on the biggest U.S. financial, political, and world news from the past 24 hours. It has been a whirlwind of economic turbulence, political maneuvering, and global reactions that could shape the weeks and months ahead. Let's dive in. U.S. financial news: Trump's tariffs send markets into chaos. The biggest financial story dominating U.S. headlines over the past 24 hours is President Donald Trump's sweeping new tariffs on imports, a move that's rattled markets and sparked fears of a global economic downturn. Announced yesterday and taking effect at midnight, these tariffs impose a baseline 10% tax on nearly all trading partners, with steeper rates for what Trump calls the worst offenders: 34% on China, 46% on Vietnam, 25% on South Korea, 24% on Japan, and 20% on the European Union. Even tiny Antarctic territories weren't spared, according to a White House list posted on X. The reaction was immediate and brutal. U.S. stock markets took a nosedive, with Dow futures dropping nearly 300 points in early trading today. Nasdaq futures slid 3.4%, and the dollar weakened significantly. Meanwhile, 10-year Treasury yields fell to just above 4%, the biggest bond market jump in 9 months, as investors fled to safer assets. Analysts are calling this a spiral of doom for growth, with fears that a broadening trade war could tip the fragile world economy into recession. Nigel Green, CEO of DeVere Group, didn't mince words. "This is how you sabotage the world's economic engine while claiming to supercharge it." Posts on X echoed the chaos, with users like a Baby Pips noting gold surging to record highs and the dollar on a wild ride after a red-hot ADP jobs report collided with the tariff news. The private sector jobs data, released earlier today, showed unexpected strength, but it's been overshadowed by the tariff fallout. Businesses are scrambling to assess supply chain costs, and consumers could soon feel the pinch with higher prices on everything from cars to electronics. U.S. political news: Trump's tariff gamble and Booker's marathon. Protest on the political front. Trump's tariff announcement isn't just an economic bombshell, it's a high-stakes political gamble. The president signed the executive order yesterday, framing it as Liberation Day for American workers, promising to restore fairness to trade. But the move's drawn fierce criticism, even from within his own party, with some warning it could alienate voters ahead of the 2026 midterms. Political risk is mounting, as Reuters noted this morning, with Trump betting that short-term pain will yield long-term gains for his base. Meanwhile, Senator Cory Booker, Democrat from New Jersey, stole the spotlight with a record-breaking protest. Starting Tuesday and running into early Wednesday, Booker spoke for over 25 hours on the Senate floor, shattering a mark set by the late Strom Thurmond. His marathon filibuster targeted Trump's policies since taking office in January: Social Security cuts, education rollbacks, healthcare changes, and now these tariffs. Speaking to journalists at the Capitol yesterday, Booker called it a stand against an administration unraveling decades of progress. It's a dramatic escalation in Democratic resistance, and it's got Washington buzzing. Elsewhere, New York City Mayor Eric Adams scored a win today when a judge dismissed his federal corruption case with prejudice. Facing charges of bribery and campaign finance violations, Adams hailed the decision as vindication, but it's unlikely to quiet the political storm around him. And in a quieter but intriguing shift, Politico reported this morning that Trump told close allies his billionaire friend Elon Musk might soon step back from his government role. Details are murky, but it's fueling speculation about Musk's next move. World news: global backlash to tariffs and beyond. Zooming out to the world stage, Trump's tariffs are the seismic event rippling across borders. The European Union's Ursula von der Leyen called it a major blow to the global economy, promising countermeasures from the 27-member bloc. Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan are reeling, with their export-driven economies now facing steep U.S. barriers. Britain's finance minister, speaking Wednesday, took a cautious tack, saying the UK won't rush into action as it eyes a post-Brexit trade deal with Washington. Retaliation's on the table everywhere, though, with experts predicting a chess game of politically savvy countermoves. Markets globally mirrored the U.S. plunge. World stocks, oil, and currencies like the euro tumbled today, per Reuters, as the tariff wall threatens decades of trade liberalization. ECB chief Christine Lagarde warned yesterday that the impact will be negative the world over. It's a tense moment for international alliances, with some leaders privately fuming that Trump's even targeting allies like the EU and Japan at rates rivaling those on rivals like China. Beyond tariffs, other stories broke through the noise. In Russia, opposition figure Boris Nadezhdin was declared bankrupt by a Moscow court today, a blow to Putin's critics after his failed presidential run last year. In France, far-right leader Marine Le Pen faced a Paris court verdict on Monday. In an embezzlement case, today's fallout suggests it could still upend her career, though details remain fluid. And in Israel, the military's expanding operations in Gaza, including plans to seize parts of the territory, added geopolitical heat, as reported by Reuters yesterday. Conclusion: a world on edge, so where does this leave us? In the U.S., financial markets are in freefall, and Trump's tariff gamble is testing both his economic vision and political capital. Booker's protest signals a Democratic Party ready to fight tooth and nail, while Adams and Musk keep the political intrigue simmering. Globally, the tariff shockwaves are just beginning, with retaliation looming and alliances straining. It's a day where economics and politics collided head-on, and the aftershocks will likely dominate headlines for weeks. That's your report of the biggest news from the past 24 hours as of April 3rd, 2025. The world's on edge, and tomorrow could bring more surprises. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back with updates as events unfold.